when it can't nobody hold it. Can't nobody. We winning, yeah. We winning, yeah.
YouTube video that was like, yeah, you mean tell me you're not going to talk about the JP Morgan Chase ship that was found with $1.3 billion of cocaine on that ship? Now the ship was owned by JP Morgan Chase, and they're saying that JP Morgan Chase declined to comment on the situation, but the Mediterranean shipping company, who's affiliated with them, did leave a statement. It said, unfortunately, shipping and logistic companies are from time to time affected by trafficking problems. The shipping company said that is cooperating with U.S. law in the investigation. Neither JP Chase or MSC are targets of a criminal investigation. How you feel about that? That's crazy.
All right, man. All right, so for those of you who don't know who JP Morgan and Chase are, JP Morgan and Chase is one of the oldest financial institutions in the United States with a history dating back over 200 years. And here's where they stand today. This is jpmorganchase.com. Okay, this is where I'm reading this from. We are a leading global financial service firm with assets of $2.6 trillion. We have a presence in over 100 markets. We have over 250,000 employees. We serve millions of consumers, small businesses, and many of the world's most prominent corporate, institutional, and government clients. We are a leader in investment banking, financial services for consumers and small businesses, commercial banking, financial transaction processes, and asset management. Last and final, our stock is component of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All that being said, they are fucking broke off paid. They got money.
Yeah.
They got money. And when you see these kind of people with this kind of money, some illegal shit going on behind it.
Yeah. I mean, you talking about
what it is.
That's I mean, that's just, you know, get our faculties together for a minute. We ain't talking about a couple kilos. We talking about something that's supposed to go into a fucking major city and flood the streets and come back and kill people and put people in rehab and all the stuff, you know, that is going to do. This is something that was orchestrated. They know about this. Now, let me go on a little further. They say several crew members on the ship have been charged with knowingly and intentionally conspiring with each other to possess cocaine. No, that's bullshit. Don't try to hand us that. This is something way bigger than a cute cats on the ship. You know what I'm saying? That's trying to get because this is something that somebody has to put big bread. If you got street value, how much did you pay for it?
There's no fucking way some dudes in there going to orchestrate that on JP Morgan's boat. There's no fucking way.
Right.
They know what's on them boats. They know what's going in, it's going out. That's why they had no comment. But that's why we hear nothing else about it. Boom. One day, oh shit, here it is. And boom, here it's going. The next day. And now, okay, we're going to charge a few people because we feel as though they conspired. Them brothers or whoever's on that boat making $19.50 an hour. Yeah, they conspired to bring $1.3 billion worth of cocaine. And we're going to get it off that fucking
Philly
thing.
Too. It was Philly.
I knew it was Philly. I heard it in Philly. I was in Florida talking about it in Philly. Come on, man. Right here. How many times did we drove over the Waldman Bridge and see them industrial and not even knowing who they own by? Because there's no fucking big ass sign that says JP Morgan across from there.
Yeah.
Nobody says it. But hey, so what does that tell you? When we look at who has the power in this society in America, and who has political power, who has things like that, and how they control and how they influence, you want me to tell me you don't know that these drugs are coming in here? But then, okay, like a guy like El Chapo is sitting behind jail right now doing those kind of numbers for life sentences. They want 1 billion dollars back from him. I heard.
Yeah.
Who was he getting it from?
That's what I'm saying. That's the big, you know. And you know, I mean, how people always say, well, in the black community, you know, we don't got no boats, we don't got no planes. This is the quintessential definition of that. Yeah, you got your cats on the street doing this little bit, whatever, because your pharmacy is giving you drugs too. But at the end of the day, these are the people who got the power, the money, and the people that are bringing the drugs in and they're distributing them to the different levels. Maybe it's somebody here, then they go to the cat here, then he distributes to the street dudes, and it goes all the way down the chain. But we got to see exactly where it starts. And the fact that this is not a bigger story, the fact that we're not seeing, you know, executives, CEOs, and people from that company being arrested all over the news. This should be the biggest story out right now. And they're not even really targets of the investigation, even though they own the boat. That's because that was me or you who own that boat. And we got found with $1.3 billion worth of cocaine. We will be in prison right now with no bail.
Well, they don't just own the boat. They own the networks. They own influence. They own conversation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you sitting on $2.6 trillion. It's like, yo, shut up.
And you got a bank. Talk about a bank for a minute. They could be funding agency. They could be funding these. They could have loans through. You never know. It goes that deep. So we got a chance to see the people who are on that level, to see just a small portion of what's really going down, in America. And we definitely had to talk about this, though.
You said a small portion. Yeah, $1.3 billion worth came through Philly Harbor. And they got a Baltimore Harbor. They got one in Carolina. They got one in Florida. And that's just the East Coast. They got them up north. They got them on the West. Come on, man. How much is really going on? That's just a speck. And we got to hear about it. I mean, and that's the good thing about the day we live in. We talk about the good and the bad, because we wouldn't have really heard about this 10, 15, 20 when we were kids. They would have like, nah, fuck that. That ain't going over the airways. Shut that down. They can't shut it down right away. It can get up and down, but now it's out here. Now we know. That's
the beauty of social media and platforms like YouTube, and that allow, independent content creators to, get that message out there, man. I always say, definitely got to love YouTube for that. And they pay you, for putting your message out there. So I think that's real dope. Anybody can do it. That's the great part as well.
Just put your work in, man. That's all you got to do. Oh, God, let's just take a break and action real quick. I know we're going to make this kind of short and sweet right now, because just got back from traveling. It's a little later in the podcast, but let's talk a little NFL real quick, man, because we was talking about it just earlier on. Real quick, because we got training camp starting. Who are your favorites right now in the overall race for the Super Bowl, NFC, AFC, surprise teams that are just the need to go ahead and do their thing, that are under the chopping block this year, man? Give me some teams to look at.
Super Bowl, Eagles, Chiefs. Eagles, man. Of
Andy
course.
Reid, Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the bowl this year. I'm not real high on the Cleveland Browns like everybody else is. I would say, though, don't count the Patriots. They're still going to be balling this year. Seahawks, I think, going to be real good again this year. They weren't super good, but I think they're going to ball this year. I don't know if I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins with the Vikings too much either. Yeah.
Don't be.
You know what I mean? Really, the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be the class of the NFC this year. I think it's going to all rest on Carson Wentz's shoulders, how that goes with the Eagles. And again, the AFC, I think the Chiefs now with Tariq now is going to be in the fold now, and knowing the pieces that they got, the coaching. I think you should see them, and Eagles battling for the bowl, with the Eagles winning that game.
Give me a biggest storyline of the year going into the NFL season. It's the biggest storyline for you. What's the biggest thing that you care about? The one thing you're focused on the most?
I don't know. You mean as far as what, a player or just football?
Yeah, like, okay, what do you, all right, so obviously you're an Eagles fan, and being objective, you guys are one of the top to go ahead and go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and that rests on Carson Wentz. So is that the thing you're most focused on? Do you want to see the Browns and what they going to do? Do you want to see who's going to come out between the Chiefs and the you know what I mean? Like, what's your...
Yeah, obviously Carson Wentz at that point. A couple bad injuries. The whole him have to sit back and watch Nick Foles come in and win a Super Bowl. Hear the media talk, the locker room at one point, people wanting Foles and him. He has a lot to prove, and me just being an Eagle guy, I think that this is going to be a make or break year for him. He better make it. That's all I know, because if he gets injured or starts stinking it up bad, he's going to feel it. This town right here is unrelenting, like any other town. They're going to let him feel it. They're going to be calling for Sudfeld, Nate Sudfeld, to come in. Or why'd you get rid of Foles? Yeah, so it's just like, I think that he is going to show off and show and prove why the Eagles paid him $107 million guaranteed money.
Yeah, see, I'm a Redskins fan, and I don't expect us doing much this year, even though we had a promising draft and we got promising things going on. We got our man Trent Williams in some turmoil, like you were keeping me aware of, and that's a bad situation. And in that situation, I more stand toward the player than the team, because Trent Williams has been the best player on the Redskins for the last decade.
Right.
Has been the staple, always the workhorse, always the person there putting in work, and they deserve to treat him better. I want to see what Dwayne Haskins does, but I want to see what he does next year. I don't want to see him this year getting thrown into the wolves without a left tackle, without any proper receivers and things like that. With that being said, I don't see them being very successful, and I hate to give Eagles any credit, so fuck that. I can't wait to see what Andy Reid does, though. Andy Reid, who's going to dethrone Tom Brady, 40 years old, 6 Super Bowls. We all know the resume and all that. Who's going to go ahead and say, nah, this is our league now. You can go ahead and retire. You got Patrick Mahomes, like you said. You got your boy coming back, Tariq Hill. The defense is ready. Andy Reid behind him, the prolific offense. This is the year better than ever. And if Andy Reid can't do it with the criticism behind him that he can't win the big one, talented teams, this is the most talented roster to date, then where do we put him in the history of greatest coaches at all times? He wins a bowl, he's in there. He doesn't.
Right.
Marv Levy. So it's like, come on, man. Step up.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, I definitely have to agree. It's going to be a good year. You're going to have a couple teams that's going to be surprises that are going to come out, nowhere. But, training camp, I think, kicked off in a lot of places today and tomorrow. And if you like the NFL, it's about to get heated up real soon.
Can't wait.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman, going in today. You want to talk about the Weezy story there? Want to throw that in for the next one? Weezy Pusha T. We can throw out the next one if you want.
Let's do it the next one then.
Yeah, let's do it the next one, man. So yeah, that's dope, man. Everybody, hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Do not forget before you leave out of here to give us that 5-star rating. Let us know how much you like the podcast, and be sure to hit that subscribe button there. And one more thing, if you can, please share this podcast with one other person, a best friend, a spouse, or anybody. Let them know to just check it out and give us a listen, man. Hopefully they enjoy it. That's all I got on my side, though, bro.
Yeah, indeed, man. It feels good to be home.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be back, editing up and doing our thing, man. Salute to everyone that listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. You're always going to hear evolution from your boys at the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got some real great things in store for you for the next show.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get into that. Episode 197 in the books, 198 on the way.
Yeah.
Salute to everybody that watches on YouTube. Man, I'm about to get home and go to sleep, man.